You in there?
Mm-hmm. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check.
What's up, Full Circle?
What's going on, you guys, man? You guys already know, man. It's your boy, Fisher Go Getter.
It's your boy Flash, man. Coming at you with another Wealth Wednesdays. It's the last Wealth Wednesdays of the year, man. Shout out to us. Give me some of that, man.
Last Wealth Wednesdays of the year, man.
on.
It's December 31st, man. We're going to be talking about 2026 life prep today, but first we're going to get into that SPY and Bitcoin. But first, actually, we got to get this about the way. Man. And if you want to start us off with a disclaimer, Mel, I'm about to get the structured disclaimer, but if you want to hit the disclaimer, your own disclaimer in your own way, we can hit that. But
You talking about the pro?
nah, the
Oh, hey, this is educational purposes only, right? This is all entertainment, right? Do your own research. Make sure that you are doing your own research, right? This is only for educational purposes only. This is not for you to lead you anywhere, guide you in any other direction, right? Make sure that what we discuss, what we're talking about, is different from what you're talking about, right? We're showing us how we're doing systems, how we manage and how we operate. That doesn't mean that you operate the same way, man. Do your own research. This is educational purposes only, man.
Yep. So with that being said, man, that is our disclaimer. So now we can fully get into the charts,
This
man.
is not financial advice.
Not financial advice, man. It's important that you do your own research, right? Me and Mel, we do our own research and like to talk about what we talk about. And with that being said, we give you guys the education and information to do your own research and talk about what it is that you like to talk about, right? So as we're up here looking at these charts, as we're up here looking at any type of articles, newsletters, whatever the case may be, do the same for yourself, right? So with that being said, man, let's take a look at the SPY chart, the S&P 500, man. With today being the last day of the week, or of the year, it doesn't look like we're gonna hit that $700 target in 2025, but we are only $15 away coming 2026, so I believe we're gonna hit that for sure coming in 2026, man.
8%.
We are. It was. Let me go to the hourly time frame real quick to get up there. So 700 is up there. The percentage that we are away from 700 is, now we are at a clean 2%. Yesterday it wasn't 2%. It was like one something. But now we're at that clean 2%. So that's what we're gonna need. And I believe we're going to get there, especially with the first couple of days of January. If you guys don't remember last week, I talked about, when they talk about the December rally, I have found out that the Christmas rally usually happens the 5 last trading days of December, and then the first 2 trading days of January is where we see that uptrend, man. So, man, looking at this chart, my boy Flash, how you feeling about it, man?
I'm feeling like we was close, man. Like we hit like 693 was the
Yeah, what's that? 691.
691.
691.70, and that's the Friday high and weekly high of last week. So
exactly. So yeah, soon that first week, quarter one, Q6. 2026, man. That we in there, and I feel like what's only. I think we're down 1% on the day too. You know what I'm saying? So it was.
Nah. That's a. Are we down 1% on the day? Because I think that was representing $1 right now.
Oh.
This right now
we're
we are down
17%.
Or we're down half a percent right there.
See, there it is.
Yeah, right here, right now, 0.16% from I don't know what level, but yeah.
Yeah, SPY's moving, man, and you know what I'm saying. I know that just like I said, quarter one. That first, I know the whole 2026 for the market is gonna be nice, right? The quarter one, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I know that we're gonna have multiple levels and chances to capitalize on the market. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. As I got right here, just some quick, pointers for you guys, for whoever's watching, right? We look at these charts every day, and these charts represent, the candlesticks represent the price movement. So we look at this price movement so we can gauge how to navigate in the market, right? And sometimes it pulls up patterns, right? So this is a quick pattern for you guys so you guys can utilize it in your own way. So this is how we read the market. Last night, I was able to see that market was forming a pattern, what we call a descending triangle, which is a bearish pattern. This pattern usually indicates a move to the downside, right? And it's called a descending triangle because you see right here, you have that support level that makes that line, right? And then you have that level of resistance that moves down in a slope, and that kind of creates a triangle format, right? If I pull it all the way down, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about, right? So that triangle right there, and this is a descending triangle. So last night when I mapped it out, right, the indicator doesn't always guarantee it's going to happen, but it gauges you it gives you a kind of like a zone to look at, right? So right here, it gave us the zone to look at, and then you see exactly what happened. We just dropped right into this level, right? We dropped past that support line and dropped down that level, and that's what the pattern was indicating us, and it played out, right? So that's the pattern of candlestick patterns, right? And we got that coming for you guys, right, in the VIP and our product that we got coming out. So you guys can make these moves on your own, man. So with that being said, man, you know, that's just the quick SPY rundown, man. You know, Mel, let you get into what you want to get to with the crypto.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I remember bring the mouse over here on this side.
Yep, do your thing.
Let's talk about Bitcoin. Woo! All right, so look, we hit our this was December 25th on Christmas.
Yep.
We hit our support level at
That's a
or
resistance.
You're
Yep.
right. You my fault.
You
My
good?
fault.
No, you was gonna catch it anyway. I'm just making, you know what I'm saying?
We hit the we hit the resistance level and right off the $90,000, right? And we
Right
came
off
down.
of it.
You know,
What day was that?
that was on Christmas, December 25th.
Okay.
Is there a way that we could like merge charts, right? So like if I did it in that one, it's going in the, you feel me?
What do you mean by merge? Like have one side by side?
Nah, the way that, you know, like the chart, this portfolio. Is there a way that, so when I do it, you see it too? Because at that point, I can come with the analysis pre. You feel me?
I'm not sure actually. I think there is. You talking about basically like sharing the chart?
Yeah.
I believe there might be some type of option because you can copy. Like go back to what I was talking about.
Where?
Oh, that was some different stuff.
And that was yours. It was this one. Oh, no. It was the watch list that we was in.
Yeah. I don't know. We can figure it out one day though.
Regardless, Bitcoin hit the resistance level at 90,000, right? Came right back down, shot down about, let me see how many points exactly. Or what percent? About 4%, losing around 3,600. Almost 3,700, right? And then we had a little bit of consolidation around this area. Played on it for a little quick second. I don't know what levels it hit. I could probably find one real quick just to see what's up on some slight. So there is a lot of price around this range. I'm gonna draw a rectangle instead of a just a regular. Damn, where the rectangle at?
The brush.
The brush.
I didn't want to say it the first time. I thought you was gonna get it on the second.
No. Shout out to you is what I'm saying. We got this whole range. We got this whole range of where Bitcoin is playing in and out of after hitting the resistance level, and so this is we're kind of in a smaller range. I could probably go. Let me go 1 hour.
No, you just under 1 hour.
Oh, see, this is perfect chart. It looks similar to what we seen last week. You know, not too much different. We're around the same price as well. What day was that? The 24th. Yeah, we're just around the same level. We were sitting at 87,975. Current price is 87,602. Right, so not too much. Excuse me, not too much different. Ooh, we do got some news.
Oh, they moved it. It wasn't even that. It was I don't know.
Let me do it like this. It says Bitcoin is under pressure as the crypto market reacts to Federal Reserve December meeting minutes, including a longer period of high interest rates affecting risk asset sentiment. Ultimately, what that means is because we have these super impactful meetings with, hold on, what day is this? First meeting of the year, ISM Manufacturing PMI. Because we have the government or the Federal Reserve having large meetings and pumping money into the markets, right? We got the, you know what I'm saying? People are trying to evaluate if Bitcoin is, you know what I'm saying, the right risk management to be getting into. And, you know, see, that's why we have this price of just sideways movement, right? We have these bigger, like kind of the mid-sized moves, but ultimately we're in the same place as we were last week. Now, let's look one more crypto real quick. Let me see which one should we do. Let's go Flare. Let's go Flare, man. Flare is sitting at 1 cent, man. We talk about Flare on a consistent basis. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. It looks a little cleaner. On a consistent basis, we talk about Flare. I do need to do some analysis so we can come with some good water. But kind of, I think we could probably find that same thing that you were talking about too. That descending triangle. I kind of see that same play kind of pattern out from the top. This is November, right? And we're surpassing this level here, and it kind of broke through already. So you know,
yeah,
you see them. You feel me? Yeah, Flare's at 1 cent, and nothing but a buying opportunity is what I see, right? Ondo or XDC, same under 5 cent, or just at 5 cent. You know, crypto market's still in a bit of a frenzy. That's cool. Get you some assets, man.
My fault. Breakdown of them, you know, because crypto is down, you know, people probably sitting here acting like crypto in the worst position and crypto may not recover, which is you know, that fear is going to keep them from taking action,
right,
on how low these assets are right now. So break down to them what they missing out on if they don't take that action. Even though we are this low, I mean, we know that it ain't gonna stay like this. Right. So you know, break that.
I got you. So the perfect example of this is Bitcoin. Let's say, let me go to the daily. Let's say, what price is this down here? I mean, I'm gonna do it on a larger scale, right? 5 years ago, 2020, at the end of 2020, Bitcoin is about, let me go to the last day just to be fair. Bitcoin is at 14,000 5 years ago, right? Don't be the dude who was like, damn, I wish I got into crypto or any asset. Damn, I wish I got into the asset when it was low, because now it's $90,000. Imagine my return, my ROI on my asset if I got in at 14,000, and this is on a 5-year scale. So let's just do one. Let's just do 1 year. 2024, the end of 2024. The end of 24, price was at about 62,000, right? So you're still, even if you got in at 24,000, you're still, that's 4x. You know, almost like 4.5x, because it's almost $90,000 from last year. So if you was holding from December 31st, 2024, up until December 31st, 2025, you're up on your money. Let me see the percent actually, and how important it is for you to get into. Let me see the last day. I can't get it right. Oh, there it is. Top tick, we're up 112%. Let's call it. It's 113 right at the tip, but 112% from your initial investment last year if you would have bought at December 31st, 2024. So that just shows you how important it is to get in while you can, and you have these big pullbacks in the market. You need to capitalize and take advantage of these moments, because you're going to be left asking yourself why, scratching your head like, how can I do this, that, and the third to have that same type of ROI? But yeah, don't be one of those dudes, man.
Yeah, and last question, man. You know, last question. Do you or do you not think? Okay. From here, we're at 86,000 right now, man. You think Bitcoin hits that 75, hits 75, 70 at some point? Before we get that, I know it's a bold say, you know what I'm saying, but How are you feeling?
There is a possibility because we are we're within range, right?
Definitely within range.
I definitely see that it is something to be looking out for in regards of if it's happening or not. If I think that it will happen, because just like you said, that rally of all assets, and we have a lot of money coming into the market. The Federal Reserve is buying bonds, and we're kind of seeing that aftermath. If you go to stocks, we're kind of seeing that aftermath of what is going on with that. And so I don't. It is just like we talked about with SPY. I definitely see that it could happen, but I don't think that it's necessarily likely as well. You know what I'm saying? When we was talking about that 700, and it has to be something crazy for the market to be feeling like that. Moving like that at least.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But yes,
that's a good solid.
We're definitely in the range.
It can, and you know what I'm saying. There's a possibility it can. There's a possibility it can't. So another reason why we look at this technical analysis and these candlesticks, right? Because you can see exactly what range that we're in that he's talking about, right? You see how at the low we bounced off this 80,000. At the high we bounced off this 93,000. But then also we got this mini range right here where between in the middle of all that at 90,000 and at 84,000, right? I'm gonna make these lines, a little smaller, and this is just, quick for you guys to be able to just navigate these waters yourself, and understand how we're looking at it so you can know what you're doing. So you got the upper range, the bigger range, and you got this smaller range, right? And in the smaller range of 90,000 and 85,000, you see that the price is just playing, is boxing with each other, right? So depending on which one it wants to break out of, okay, we may break out to the low side. And if we get to that 80,000, if we break that 80,000, we get to 70 something easy, you know what I'm saying? So, but if we break up to this upside to 90,000, then we pass that 93,000, we get to 109,000 easy. So these candlesticks isn't about guessing and just predicting where the market is going. It's about seeing where the price is at and gauging the possibilities of where it could go based off the moves that it could make. So,
right.
Yes, sir. Right here, I also wanted to point out, we got some more news. A red close for Bitcoin in 2025 would confirm a shift into a bear phase, highlighting the importance of yearly candle formations and understanding market cycles. So just real quick, before we move that on, right now we're on the daily time frame. Each candle represents a day. Now, based off what they said, we're going to go to the 12-month time frame. Each candle represents a year, right? Ooh. Now, if we end up getting that red close for Bitcoin this year, that would indicate a possible bearish movement. And bearish means downside, bullish means up. Right here, touch on that, Mel, because that is prominent, man.
Right, just like the news said, and you as well. If we in red, right, and we have a lot of movement within this too. This is I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but this is a bigger wick, right? This wick is long.
Yeah, this got it.
And so, you see that we hit these highs up here and had that opportunity, or we had this high of Bitcoin sitting at about 127, right, and that was the all-time high this year, and so. The low as well that we hit on the lowest of the year is 74. So just like I was saying, we hit that 74 mark. That's a bullish trend or bearish trend.
Yeah, man.
And then that price of 74,000 for a Bitcoin.
Yeah,
very likely.
And here's another thing I want to point out, man. Just I don't know what pattern that is off the top of my head, but it looks like a doji something. I just want to screenshot it real quick and put it in the ChatGPT, right? So what we're about to do right now is take this screenshot and put it into chat real quick so he can tell us the specific candlestick pattern that candle may be making. Can you ask him for me real quick while I grab? So to read the candlesticks and to notice the patterns, right? A book that both got us right starting out that we still utilize to this day. Japanese candlesticks charting techniques, right? So if you're somebody who wants to get into the candlestick techniques and understand how to gauge these patterns, right? Within this book, you'll be able to see the different patterns, the different techniques, all of it, right? I got annotations, all type of stuff up in here, right? So with that being said, you may not be able to remember everything off the top of your head, but this is why we utilize ChatGPT. We could take the screenshot and be like, oh, what does this resemble? So,
Japanese candlestick charting.
but yeah, man,
Grab that.
right here, just real quick, what it most likely closely resembles a shooting star, right? And why, right? So what a shooting star is, it indicates that sellers, so a shooting star indicates that buyers shot it up, right? But then it also indicates that sellers came in when buyers shot it up and pushed it all the way back down, which caused it to close red. So that means that even though buyers had at some point, sellers came back even heavier, and then they closed like that. Hence, shooting star. He shot up, came back down, closed. So that is an indicator for a bearish movement per se, because we see that at the tippy top, we went to the tippy top, but then we came right back. The sellers took over. So now what that usually leads to, right? History doesn't always repeat itself, but it does rhyme, right? It's not always going to do the same exact thing, but this is how we gauge it, right? It may lead to, a move like that, how we did, right? And then it may lead to filling this gap right here, right? And if we want to fill that whole thing, well, I'll just take that out the way. But anyways, if we wanted to fill the whole thing, that would be, from that top, from that top to the bottom, that's 64%. We had a good 113% run up.
Yep.
So back to that level would be 42,000. I don't know if we get that low, but that's some crazy stuff, right? So I don't know if we get that low and fill that whole candle back up to fill that whole gap, right? But
based off of technical analysis, though, it's something to look out for.
It's something to look out for. So basically, all we're saying is look out for that gap to be that drop, right? And this is the next year, right? So once again, each of these candles represent a year, right? So if each of these candles represent a year, we don't know what the next year is in store for us, right? So that's all we're trying to point out to you guys when it comes down to this candlestick, to these candlestick patterns and reading the chart on your own, right? But with that being said, enough of the stock talk, man. What we got for you guys today is a full circle wealth breakdown on 2026 prep. We have already taken the time to map out our 2026 and apply the things that we've been doing that we want to do for 2026 to, gain that momentum, right? Because it's important that you don't just wait, right? It's important that you don't wait for the perfect time, right? You create that perfect time, and like they say, if you start in 2026, it is already too late. So we're about to do the prepping now, physically, financially, mentally, because that's what Full Circle Wealth is about, right? Full Circle is the name because we hit all angles, man. That's all we do. So with that being said, man, we about to hop into it for 2026 prep, brought to you by Full Circle Wealth. You got anything you want to touch on before we get into it?
Yeah, man. I heard you in the back. Yeah. Let's hop into it. Let's get straight into it. So, this is our 2026 prep for not only you guys but for us too. Because what sense would it make if we use this system, or we provided this system, and we didn't use it, right? Like, why would we come up with something like this with such practicality and not use it and utilize it, right? So,
Right.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Without these 7 things here, you won't change at all in 2026. If you don't have any system in place that will allow you to not only manage your time right, manage your money right, manage the people that are around you, control your environment, have that right type of mindset, you will not move forward. And that's when everything in life, right? You don't need to be Full Circle Wealth to understand this either. This applies in every aspect of life, right? For starters, you need motivation. You need to get up every day and be like, yes, I can do this. I'm the man. I'm the woman. There's nobody better than me, right? There's nobody better than me. Nobody got it like I got it, right? And then after that, you have to realize, like, if I have all this motivation in me, but I don't have a schedule. Gotta have the schedule busting, right? You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that time where you take out of the day for yourself, for your parents, for your family, for your pets, right? For your job, right? However it goes, you need to have that realistic schedule. And then throughout the day, or throughout the year, you need to have a book that you're getting guidance from. A book, a podcast, a Telegram, Full Circle Wealth, anywhere where you get information to help you grow, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the last one. You do the last three?
Um,
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
When it comes down to reading the book, man, earlier this year, starting off, we did 2 live wealth. When we started off doing Wealth Wednesdays, it was live reading, right? We read the Almanac, and then we read Psychology of Money, right? So with that being said, next year we're thinking of incorporating the same thing. So let us know in the comments, let us know in the Discord, whatever it is that you guys suggest. But if you guys think that incorporating us reading another book is something that you could utilize, hey, let us know. But we thinking of incorporating it. So if you're struggling on what to read yourself, join Full Circle Wealth and come read with us, man. Keep it going, though.
Absolutely. And so after you figure out where you're getting your information from and you figure out a good place, right? Now you need to manage your money. Now you need to figure out a map of your expenses, your budget, right? You need to figure out how exactly where you're putting money at and exactly where it's going. After that, you figure out where your money is going. Now you automate it, right? And then this doesn't have to be necessarily money, but you automate your life. You make sure that everything that you have in order is set and it flows on its own. So you can put this system in one time and it works for you throughout the year. And maybe you have to alter it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got to go in and change it. But that's the point of automation anyway. There's always going to be tweaks and bugs within yourself and you and your system that you need to fix and be better at, right? So automation. And then this is like this is my second favorite right here, skill to hustle ratio, right? So you can be the most skillful person ever, but if you don't have the hustle, right? It gotta match up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that hustle as well as the skill, and learning a skill and getting into that groove of hustling for it, right? And this one, number 7, this is my favorite one right here. Environment check, right? If you're not surrounding yourself with people, if you're not surrounding yourself with go-getters, I don't know what to tell you, man. You ain't surrounding yourself with go-getters. You're not surrounding yourself with people that love you and care about you and support you and making sure that you're being uplifted, right? And figuring out exactly what is either uplifting you or even draining you, right? You need to make sure that your environment is always in check. So therefore, when it comes to your sanity and your mental capacity, you're always able to, come together with other people. You're not grouchy and, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that type of dude. As well as your environment, making sure that your workspace is clean. You know what I'm saying? Everything that here is dedicated to what we do. You know what I'm saying? Green juice. We're healthy. You know what I'm saying? Everything plays a part. Mic. You know what I'm saying? Mic. We got the boom mic on top of the mic. You know what I'm saying? Everything comes together. So, yes, these are the foundation of self-sufficiency and system building. You got to have these 7 things in place. And there are more, but these are the 7 most important according to Full Circle Wealth's goals and ambitions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I would agree. Environment check is most important. I don't think any of these things won't necessarily work without the environment. I've been there. I've been the type of guy who's been applied 1 through 6, but I thought when I got to 7, I could just be stronger than anything that was around me. But 7 would knock you off your pivot of 1 through 6, right? So, but if you are struggling to do 1 through 6, 7 could get you to do 1 through 6 if you just put yourself in the right environment, right? So that environment is the most important thing, man. So surround yourself around like-minded people, and if you aren't around like-minded people, remember that until you make a change, man, you ain't gonna change. Man.
Right, exactly.
So motivation, right here, you need 3 things that you want more of, right? 3 things that you want less of, right? 1 thing you're done tolerating, right? 3 things you want more of because, we should always want to strive for more as humans, right? We should always want to strive for more and get to that next step, get to that next level. 3 things you want less of, right? This is important. I actually heard a quote the other day on Instagram, right? A lady was talking about when it comes down to success, it's more likely that you are to remove something than to add something, right? So when it comes down to changing your life and doing better in your life, look at what you want less of. Look at what you want to remove because change often happens from removing something. And 1 thing that you're done tolerating, right? like I was saying about removing something, right? Change often happens when you're willing to stop tolerating the stuff that you used to, right? You no longer are willing to accept treatment to, you're not really willing to accept that version of yourself, and you're gonna grow from it, right? So, when you're done tolerating certain things, that new level arises, man. So, what you got, man?
Yes, literally, and I like that quote too because I never really processed that and put that in those type of words, right? In that format. Whenever you want to grow and you be successful, you have to remove something, right? And I feel that too because we all, like I said, we're not making this just for willy-nilly, right? This is exactly the system that we're using for ourselves, and so this fits exactly that full circle wealth motto, right? And as well as the things that you want less of, right? After you take out of those things, those things that are kind of like holding you back, right? You can start adding things that are positive for you, right? And you want more of, and so that could be health, that could be time, right? That could be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think those are the most two important, right then and there. And one thing you're done tolerating, get that out of there, man. Make sure that,
Yeah.
Make sure that but it's specific for motivation because this is without these two, you won't be able to see yourself in the light of who you want to be, right? If you want to be a streamer, right? If you want to be a content creator, you want to be a rapper, you want to be a cook, you want to be a mechanic. If you don't remove the 3 things that are stopping you from doing so, right? And add 3 things that will boost you or help you into that niche of yours, then that one thing that you're tolerating becomes 10, right? And so this is why you need to knock this out. Come on, you need to have that. This is why this motivation tab, because you got it. You only got you, man.
Yeah, this creates your why. You know what I'm saying? And you won't be able to do this without your why. You know, we that what continues to push us is our why. What made us start, right? And what we want to accomplish as far as continuing, right? We have our why because it's not gonna look great. It's not gonna look like progress all the time, right? But your why is what's gonna keep you going, man. So, you got anything you want to touch on before we move on?
That's it.
Next one we got is a realistic daily schedule, man. So lock in, wake up, lock in your work hours, lock in the one daily non-negotiable. Overall, planning a repeatable life, right? Systems is very important, right? We talked about it on the podcast that we actually coming out on our podcast episode, man. Consistency, systems over consistency, right? Because you can be consistent, but it's best for you to be consistent with a system so you can streamline your life, right? So talk about that a little bit, my boy.
Yes, without consistency or what we're using today, you're right, consistency, but a realistic daily schedule, right? You wake up you're supposed to wake up at 6 in the morning. You got to work at 8. You know what I'm saying? You got to take your kids to school at 8 o'clock, right? But you wake up at 7:30. You know what I'm saying? On Monday. Tuesday, you wake up right at 8 o'clock, right? And so now kids is late. Without a realistic daily schedule, you're stuck in a kind of like a grabbing type of lifestyle, right? Instead of having that scheduled lifestyle with consistency, and being consistent with it is the only way that you will prosper, because you need to repeat a cycle. It's not, you don't wake up on this time on the day and then, think about doing something else on the next day. You want to make sure that every day you wake up at the same time. Every day you plan out your day. Work, right? Non-negotiable. You know that you want to read 20 pages out of a book. You know that you want to call your mom and tell her you love her. Call your dad, tell him you love him, right? You know you want to clean your room. You know what I'm saying? You know you want to scrub the bathroom. So, yeah, ensuring that your schedule is tip-top tier from every moment of the day. You're utilizing every moment. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck, in a cycle of what should I do? When should I do it? How should I do it? I don't have time for that, right? And that's, let me start by saying this too. That is one of that is the worst thing that you can say, is that I don't have time for it. Delete that from your vocabulary, ultimately.
Yeah.
That is one of the worst things you can say, because what you're telling yourself subconsciously is that if it's something that takes 2 minutes, a wise man just told me the other day, if it takes 2 minutes, I'm going to knock it out and I'm going to get it done. If this takes you 2 minutes, knock that shit out, man. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, but knock it out. That's light.
Yeah, because you know you definitely got time for whatever it is that you want. You know, we just
Right.
got to make the time, right? Even it's even the money thing. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got the money to invest, but you just rather go buy the iPhone than go spend the money buying the Apple stock, right? So you got it, right? So when it comes down to planning a repeatable life, you know, I just want to throw an example in of what that may look like because, you know, I feel like I live a repeatable life. We both live a repeatable life, right? We know that. Daily that we're gonna have our work hours, right? We're gonna sit on that computer and lock in, right? And if we didn't get on the computer to lock in, we're gonna make sure that we ended up watching a video to feed our mind about said topic, whether it's stocks or crypto, right? Or we did something to look at that market, right? Unconsciously, right? We consciously it started out as setting a routine, but then it became something unconscious where you don't have to tell me to look at the market every day, right? You don't have to tell me to wake up and get on the market, man. I'm gonna wake up and get on the market because that's just the repeatable life that I built for myself, right? You don't have to tell me, right, to go to the gym, right, throughout the week or do a workout throughout the week because that's the repeatable life that I built for myself. Even as far as like learning something new, you know, reading, right, listening to a podcast, listening to an audio book, having good conversations, let alone even having the good people around me, right? Structure your life in a way where you know you do this stuff so much on a consistent basis where this is what it becomes your identity, right? It just becomes who you are, right? So now I don't have to go I don't have to walk into finding like-minded friends because I became that friend that was already like-minded that I was looking for. So now all I got is like-minded people around me, right? You know what I'm saying? All we got is partners around us. All we got is people who want to build around us. So, you know, when you build that repeatable life, man, you know, it streamlines your whole life, right? Those habits become your identity. And
Yes.
that's the point that you want to get to because, you know, that's it. Because consistency is one thing, but when you systemize your consistency, it's ingrained in you, man.
Right.
So yeah, anything you want to touch on before we move forward?
That's perfect.
Bet. What to read? You can start this off for us.
What to read, right? So, throughout the year, man, you need information for you to get for your niche, right? So we're circling around money, and our mindset, or sorry, I structured that the wrong way. Just like you said, back to what you said at the beginning of the year, we had two books that we read: The Psychology of Money and The Almanac, right? And so The Psychology of Money is a mindset book. It's about money, but it's a mindset book because it's the psychology of money. So we've already got this out of the way. The money book, right? The Almanac, it is
Reverse it.
low key.
The psychology of money can also be a mindset book,
Yeah.
but the almanac was
You're right.
was specifically that mindset book, and then the money book that we read was psychology of money.
Yes.
So now you go ahead.
Yes, yeah, I had those flipped. Yes, and so we already got these out of the way now. Perspective book, right? You have to put your. I don't want to jump to. Well, I'm trying to see what I want to say for real.
Mm-hmm.
The perspective book is what you use to interpret your field of view, right? You want to ensure that your perspective is on point because if you have the mindset of you have a good mindset book and you have the money book, right? And you took those tools from those books and utilized them right now. You need to change your perspective on everything, right? And not only just money and skills or money and mindset, but everything, family, right? Everything, trust, right? Trust within yourself, trust within your partners, trust within yourself ultimately. And so instead of buying 10 books that you need or that you feel like you need, man, get 10. All you need to do is read 10 pages a day, right? And that goes back into the repeatable schedule. It's a non-negotiable, right? You want to complete, all you need is 3 books for the year, right? And it's these out of these 3. And just 10 pages a day. Do you know how many books that you will finish if you read 10 pages a day? There's 365 days in a year, right? And all you need is 10. So you can easily finish 5 books, but we made it a little bit easier for you so you don't feel like you got to stress yourself out.
Yeah.
3 books.
3
Go
books.
ahead, touch on that.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you added a one perspective book. You know, last year I had read 3 books and I made a goal for my year to read five books. With the goal being I wanted to read specifically I said a book that would help me specifically with partnership, right?
Yeah,
That'll
yep.
give me an insight on partnership, but that also goes in with perspective, right? So and And I think it's just dope that you added that, man. And a good perspective book that I'm reading right now that I've already told you about is the Let Them Theory, right? You know, to you guys, man,
You
I'm
got
giving. I don't have it. I got it on Audible. That's
okay.
that's also what I want to say. You know, first, the Let Them Theory is a great book on the perspective and just working with people, dealing with people, right, and not letting it affect you, and then letting them be them, right? So, and then when it comes down to the Audible. I wanted to mention that as well because, yes, read 10 books, 10 pages daily. But if you're somebody who finds it difficult to read, like me, sometimes I might not want to sit down and read. I like to listen to an Audible. Audible through Amazon is cheaper as well too. So you can utilize that and listen to a chapter for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Also, do your due diligence and make sure that you're also taking your notes because it won't work without taking the notes, right? And be intentional about it. But yeah, man, that one mindset book, that one money skill book, and that one perspective book, just so you can deal with the world better. I like how you said what you said about being able to interpret the field of view better. That was a great way to put it because once you get that mindset book that changes your mind, then you get that money, right? That changes how you look at money and it gives you a new skill. Now your perspective is going to change you because now you get to apply this information from a free state of mind, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times when it comes down to new information, our mind still likes to block it out. It's hard to receive it, but that perspective book is going to help you open it up, open up your mind. Yeah, so that was dope. I like how you added that, man. And don't try to go hard all at once, man. Like we finished 2 books. Reading with the community, reading once a week.
Yeah.
So if you just read one day a week, 2 chapters a week, 1 chapter a week, I mean, you can get a lot done. And I truly do. We will. We're going to discuss actually putting that together for the live reading because I do truly suggest that you read you a book, right? Because last year when we took the time to read those books, those 2 books alone shaped a lot.
Yes.
Those shaped a lot, right? The Psychology of Money alone really I'm gonna be applying that for the rest of my life, right? The Almanac of Naval, I forgot his last name, but I'm gonna be applying that for the rest of my life, right? He talked about certain things, something that I remember to this day that I just applied the other day that sticks with me. He mentioned that, he was talking about Twitter, right? And how when he was on Twitter and he used to do tweets, he would get the dopamine from the reaction to the tweets, making him feel like it's progress, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not necessarily progress. And he was talking about the mistake people may make of posting this content and thinking the reaction to this content is the progress when the real progress is the value that you're putting out there. And with us getting the reaction to the content that we've been looking to get lately, we have to remember and ground ourselves and say, okay, let's not focus on getting those likes, right? We know those likes is gonna come from the value that we put into this content, right? So saying that to say, man, whatever book you read will stick with you. So read you a couple books, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
Now we get to the part where, this is everybody's favorite part, man. How to allocate money. This is the money map right here, right? So first off, this is a non-negotiable. You need a spreadsheet or some sort of place where you can capture data and allow yourself to understand exactly where all your money goes monthly, right? So within the first month of January, this is what you need, right? Right here. You need a notebook or spreadsheet, but I like to do it on paper. It's easier for me to see.
Yeah, me too.
Get you a notebook and you put exactly in a fire pen exactly exactly how much you spend overhead, right? You need to have all your financials and all your financials in a place where you can go back and look and be like, oh yeah. So I did spend $2,000 on subscriptions in February, but I cut it down and then I spent another $130 on groceries that we needed that month. And then in March, I did get a new Xbox subscription. So no matter where you spend your money at, no matter where it goes, you know what I'm saying? You need to have exactly where it went, right? As well as your fixed expenses, right? So you know that you need gas, you know you need rent every month, you know you need groceries every month. You have to live with those three things alone. So if nothing else goes in, your fixed expenses has to go in there, right? Your rent, car, and groceries. And then after you figure out your financials, you wanna figure out exactly where you wanna put this money, right? So you could have either a high yield savings account, right, or you can have a Robinhood account where you put 10% into investing, right, into Netflix, Apple, right, Lyft, whatever. And what we do, Full Circle Wealth, we save 10 to 25%, and this is a bit of a bigger range because Full Circle Wealth, what we can do is there might be months and weeks where we can allocate more to our investments, right? There might be times where we spend more money on, or we invest more money, we invest more money into assets, right? We invest more money into our savings account, right? And so always be sure to figure out what your range is when it comes to investing and saving, because it's different for everybody, right? Not everybody has the same monthly income. This is just what we use for Full Circle Wealth. So, right, and then this is very important too, because once you begin to track your spending, right, you get to track exactly where your money is going. You can now start to build yourself an emergency fund, and what that looks like is at least 1 to 3 months, or 2 to 3 months of expenses, right? So just about 1,500 is a good safe area for. I feel like that was general area. About 1,500
Yeah.
is a good area for everyone to have at least on the back burner. That's not your savings. That's not your investing. This is if you get a flat tire, you can pull your money from the emergency fund. If the Wi-Fi cuts out or something, you know what I'm saying? You can pay that right out of the emergency fund, right? You need to go to the grocery store real quick, whatever the case. The emergency fund is for emergencies only, though. Don't confuse this with fixed expenses and other things like that. And you need to have, expenses. You need to have a direction for the cheese. Otherwise, it's going to disappear. You need to have somewhere where you have all of this data and collect it every month. So therefore, when it comes to the end of the month, you can be like, hey, I know exactly where every dollar went. I know exactly where I spent this money at. I know exactly how much I invested this month. And so I seen this month I'm investing 400. Next month I'm trying to save more and invest 600 instead of 400, right? And so this money map is what is gonna guide you in that right direction.
Yeah, man. I really want to emphasize that, none of this is a game. As far as this will really help you. I really just want to emphasize that, because we ain't just putting stuff up here just cause. Let's get that out the way right now. Me and Flash right here both, collectively had one of the best years of our life in 2025, all because we applied this. And from the psychology of money, man. Having writing down. Taking the time to write it down on paper, right? That paycheck, getting paid and writing down what expenses you're putting your money towards and what your non-negotiables are. Really mapping your life out. You're really able to see the flaws in your spending. Like he was talking about, you're able to see, man, I probably spent too much here. I could actually take that and allocate this here, So saying that to say, we really aren't just talking. So I want you really listen to this with the mindset of applying this information, because this information will help you if you choose to actually apply it, right? Having that target savings, having that target investing, right? Really saving 10 to 25%, investing 10 to 25%, really just getting the mindset of paying yourself first, right?
Yes.
Really, this was the year of truly consistently applying the information that we both kind of knew, even though we learned more this year as well, it just clicked everything, and we really truly applied it, right? We didn't fiddle around with it. No, we did track our money. We did, put our money towards our fixed expenses first and have a target savings, have a target investing, right? Full Circle Wealth baseline, because we knew that this wasn't just about us. We had to do this to really get that experience out the way for others, right? For you guys watching. So I can actually tell you, right, with conviction, you can do this. You should do this. And if you don't do this, you're going to stay where you are. Because I had to change. He had to change. We had to stop spending money on what we were spending on. You know, we had to stop doing certain activities that we were doing. We had to learn how to, man, I just went to the store and paid $7 for groceries for some fruit that'll last me a week, and I can make smoothie after smoothie, like 6-7 smoothies, instead of going to the smoothie place like I would always do and spend $9 on a smoothie. And you do that 3 times a week, that's already $27, $30, right? So just learning the game of this world and truly applying it, because when you're out here on your own, it can get challenging. But I'm not saying that to say that for fear. I'm saying that to say use that challenge to double down, because I'm a logical thinking person. Flask here is a logical thinking person, right? So when we hit challenges, we go to seek information, because there's something out here that's gonna help me, man. So seek this information and utilize it, because that's the only thing that's gonna help you.
Yeah, I do want to say one more thing too. This right here, this whole format, not only is a game like you said, but this will take your mind away from the consumer mindset. You know what I'm saying? I thought you feel me? I thought this is gonna take your mind away from the consumer, because you can you know exactly where your money is going. Just like you said, you could spend the $30, right, a month on this, or you can spend $30 one time and have 2-3 months worth of smoothies, of juices. What, you know what I'm saying? You can have that structure, so you can take this same system and apply it to your life and get out of that consumer-based mindset, man. And that is what's gonna really change your game. And it's just like you said, the only way that this works is if you actually apply this, because nobody wants to be a consumer for the rest of their life. And there's people that do, but the smart ones, like Full Circle Wealth, the members of Full Circle Wealth, we're not doing stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? We're doing stuff like this. We're not doing stuff like spending $30 a month on 2 smoothies. You know what I'm saying? We're making things happen.
Yeah, that might be the most important part that he brought up, man. Truthfully, that consumer mindset, and you don't even realize how much of a consumer you're thinking like right now. You know, I thought I was already thinking like, you know, high level before I started doing these things, but then this shows those bottlenecks in your life, right?
Yes, bottlenecks.
Yeah, man. So going from that consumer and being a CEO of your own life, man, I really feel like a real CEO, because at the end of the day, I am. This is my life. I mean, I have to call the shots. I have to figure out what plays is going to get us to that next level. I mean, me and Mel, we started mapping our 2026 out a damn month ago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we're already reaping the results. You know, we went from 940 some followers to we just hit 1,200. This is before 2026 even happened. It starts tomorrow, right? So that momentum, we've already created it. So, yeah, man. Double down, become that CEO of your life. Automation. Touch on automation, man.
Automation, right? So after you figure out all your expenses, everything that you need to do when it comes to money management, then you figure out exactly how much goes into the savings, right? Either the 10%, 15%, 25%. You allocate that on its own. You set up your Robinhood, your Coinbase, your PayPal, your banking system. You put it, you automate it into putting that 10% immediately into a different account, right? So I get paid on the first. That money, before it even touches my account, it knows exactly where it's going. All my money works for itself because it knows exactly where to navigate, right? BYOB. You know what that stands for?
Be your own boss? What is it?
Be your own bank.
Be your own
Not
bank.
Bring your own bottle. You feel me? Be your own bank. And this is what is going to allow you to do that. After you figure out your financials and you automate the financials, right? And you put the money, the 10%, 20% into the savings account. You put the 10 to 20% into the investment account, and do this every month, every week, every time you get some money into your vicinity, right? Pockets. Auto pay the bills. So this is different as well too. Calendar. After you get the financials right, you want to make sure that you are up to par on your schedule as well. If you know you got a doctor's appointment coming up on the 21st of January, and then you got a dentist appointment on the 18th of January, in that same week, you need to have that on your calendar at the first of the month. You need to plan out your entire month at the beginning, because you need that system, right? And then not only the system, you need the discipline, because it only take you about 5 minutes to figure out your calendar, right, for the month. And even if new things come up, it only at that point it's only 30 seconds for you to write down. Yep, Valentine's Day is coming up. I need to get I need to get baby some flowers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? June comes around. You know your kids is getting out of school. You need to pick them up early because they got a half day on the last day of school, right? You know you need to put the last day of school in there. So make sure that you're adding all your important dates onto the calendar. Otherwise, you'll slip up and miss your daughter's recital. You know what I'm saying? You'll slip up and miss your son's football game. You know what I'm saying? You'll slip up and miss your mama's birthday if you're a busy person. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that the system that you're putting in place is fire and it's impenetrable. And then be disciplined enough to realize that this is what you started at the beginning of the year. You have to maintain this and be consistent enough, because without consistency, you can't even be disciplined, right? And without the system, you can't have consistency. So, yeah, full circle.
Yeah. I don't really have too much to touch on. He touched on it all. I would say that when it comes down to auto investing, and look at whatever platform you use and try to set it up. I personally use Robinhood to auto invest. What platform do you use?
PayPal.
Boom, PayPal. So PayPal got the auto invest. When it comes down to Robinhood, I know, I get paid at, whatever day at 4 a.m. I don't have to actually wake up at 4 a.m. and transfer my money to my brokerage. I could just, it does it automatically. It'll hit the checking account, and then they take it from the checking account and put it in the brokerage account, and that makes things easier. So now when I look at it, the first thing that I have to do, I'm looking at it in my stock portfolio anyway, right? And then the first thing that I'm already knowing that I'm gonna do is allocate my funds 10 to 25% to whatever asset I may be putting it in that, asset I may be putting it in that week. So yeah, that's the platforms we use, and that's about it. I ain't about to ramble on. He touched on it all. Good stuff. Skill over hustle. I think this is important as well. Hustling is all about. It's moving without structure. Having those systems is important. Structuring your hustle. Before, I think, for a lot of 2025, we were building full circle wealth, but we was hustling with it, right? It took us towards the end of the year to say, okay, we've laid our foundation. Now let's structure this for 2026. Now we still hustling, but it's structuring our hustle, right? So next year is not about doing more, it's about playing smarter, right? Ask yourself, what skills could double my income in 12 to 24 months, right? What skills stack with what I already know, right? There's something that you already know and there's a skill that could be added to help what you already know. What skills can I monetize digitally, right? YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. What can you sell online, right? We've been talking about this for the last, COVID happened 2020, man. It's been 5 years of this online frenzy, So you wrap your mind around the fact that you do not need to go physically see people no more to make no money, man. So if you don't want to. So take us, for example, right? Full Circle Wealth. We came together and utilized the skills that we had, knowing stocks, him knowing crypto, right? We took that together and we said, okay, how can we monetize this digitally, right? We're gonna build a community, right? We laid out all this information for free for a whole year to build our foundation of the community. Now you guys are about to see us. We're stacking skills with what we already know, right? So we stacked on top of the skills we already know about stocks and crypto. We ended up developing business skills, more content skills, marketing skills, right? So that we can monetize digitally, right? How can we actually create the best value to give to you guys so that we can convert our attention into currency, right? And that's not to say that we're just trying to take money. We're just trying to sit here and use it as, we're the example of the fact that we got our skills and we about to utilize our skills because we built our skills, right? And you should do the same. You build your skills and you utilize that, right? So for you, this could look like sales, right? You could be somebody who wants to get into sales, right? You're somebody who wants to get into trading, and you see that Full Circle Wealth came out with how to read some candlesticks and how to read the charts and how to buy option contracts and how to trade gold and how to do these things. You saw that we came out with that and you said, man, I want to pay, that fee to get into the trading, right? Because that's exactly what we did, right? You want to get into coding, right? This was my year of both of our years of getting into coding, man. I paid the fee just to go learn the web development code in the language, right? And I took that and I'm able to now code with ChatGPT, and we're making our websites with it, right? AI tools, right? We're using ChatGPT, we're using, Opus Clip to clip our videos. We're using multiple AI tools and getting used to using artificial intelligence, right, to boost our content, to boost everything. Now we got the content. We know you see us on the camera right now. You see us on the Instagram. We consistent with that weekly. Investing into literacy and empowerment, right? Investing into understanding more about whatever it is that you want to know more of, right? Whether that's financial literacy, whether that's a book, whether that's, learning how to, develop yourself in the gym, right? And then actually utilizing it to do it for yourself, right? That's where the empowerment comes in, because a lot of us know, but we're here to empower you to take action on what you know. Because even when I knew how to read a stock, even when I knew how to, read a bit of a candlestick chart, even when I knew how to, maybe buy a contract, I didn't really feel it in me all the way as far as the confidence to do it and do it like I knew what I was doing, right? But if you come across some people who is doing something and they know how to do something that you want to do, man, that gives you that confidence, man, that power. So click the link and join us at Full Circle Wealth for free, man. And you guys can tap in with us. We got the videos, we got the stocks, we got the crypto, we got it all to help you get to that next level, man. And we're there for you. We ain't got that big to the point where you can't contact us. You can contact us, right? But by the end of 2026, we don't know. You may have be talking to the AI version of us, because we might be, whatever. A skill is freedom nobody can take from you / us. This is a skill that nobody can take from us, right? My job can't say, hey, you can't come back tomorrow and use your skill to wake up and trade or invest into the market, right? They can't say, hey, you can't come back tomorrow and utilize your community and make your videos and make your content. No, but they can say, hey, you can't come back tomorrow to your job. Well, okay, that's something you can't take from me, but I'm working on building something that nobody can take from me, and that's important, man. So touch on that, my boy.
I don't think I need to. Yeah, that's everything, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I want you to touch on this a bit, that next year is not about doing more, it's about playing smarter, man.
Yes. Because all of this is, at the end of the day, a smarter, not harder type of plan, type of mindset, type of work ethic. Because all of this, you put this in there one time. The point of this is you do this one time, and you do it once initially, and then you just alter and change and edit and fix whatever needs to be repaired at that point. But you do the goal is to do this one time, and doing it is the smarter option, right? You could do this the hard way and just try to think about, oh damn, where did I spend my money on this week? Or, oh damn, what skill was I trying to just figure out? I don't know if it was like to be a financial advisor, or I you know what I'm saying? I don't want to know if I wanted to build AI tools or whatever, right? So just overall working smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? And putting that system in place one time, and then, letting it coast and fixing what needs to be repaired in the meantime.
Yeah, that hard work is dead, man. You got people sitting at home making fake AI accounts, making more than you make at your job, man. Remember that while you at work, bro. You got to figure out the skill. That's all I'm thinking about when I'm thinking. I'm sitting there like, man, I ain't feeling pity. I ain't feeling sorry for myself. I get activated because I know as long as I keep applying, it's gonna work. 2026, our last time working a job. I quite frankly really feel that in our heart, right? Not because we just saying it, but then you guys see the work ethic that we have in the plan. So truthfully, and I mean truthfully, if you want that plan on getting towards that point where you're making progress out of your job, right? And feeling more confident about where you are and then getting a direction in life, right? With your finances, with your life, join us, man. We ain't just saying that to say that, man. We saying that to say, come rock with us, because that's what we're doing. We know where we're going, man. And we're sharing this information, man. We are taking this time. All this stuff that we just broke down, we applied in 2025, man. And 2025, and even applying in 2025, we didn't even perfectly apply it, right? It took us to get to that. I believe like May, I would say. May is when we was like, oh, we got the ball rolling.
Yes.
Oh, no, like by December, we about to be, no, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So saying that to say, this 2026, we know exactly what to do, and we know exactly where to strike. And we going to be striking, And so for you guys who are just kind of figuring out where to go and where to strike, rock with us, man. Get into the stocks, get into the crypto, get into, managing your life, because you're not the only person doing it alone. It feels good for me knowing that I'm not the only person who's writing down my finances and sacrificing and not going out on certain nights so I can put this money into a stock, put this money into a crypto, right? It feels good knowing I'm not the only person reading a book, right? And sacrificing my time when I could be doing something else. It feels good to know I'm not the only person, you know, maybe stretching myself thin because I know that I went to work this day and then came back and I want to sit down and lock in for my hour or two, you know? So when you find yourself around like-minded people, it gives you that extra strength, you know, because he's one call away and we could be one call away from you and you could find a friend in the community who is one call away, especially when we get into that live reading, right? And that live community where we're in the Discord and we're all communicating with each other, and that's all we're looking for. That's all we need. So join us, man.
Environment and circle audit. Like I said, this is the most important because all of the ones before this, they all coincide with each other, but this one is in its own bracket itself because if your environment is garbage, bro, you can't win. There's nothing that you can do to prosper if your environment is not it's not right when it comes, even the environment in here, right? Like this is on different levels because your mental capacity has to be right. You have to have a mission in mind. You have to have that drive within yourself to even push yourself in the first place. So let's get into it. Before this year ends, audit your environment, man. Ask yourself these questions. This year, what actually worked for me, right? What time was wasted? Where did that time go? Where did I spend time on that maybe I didn't need to spend time on? Where did my money leak? Where did my money go on this month, that month, right? What drained my energy? What created momentum? This year, you have to ask yourself these questions because there's no way for you to grow if you don't know these answers. If you don't know exactly what you did last Wednesday, if you don't know what you did before you went to sleep, right? And you're not monitoring this and you're not jotting this down and auditing yourself, then you're lying to yourself. If I'm being completely honest. If you're not being real with yourself, then there's nobody that's going to be real with you, right? And so not only these questions, but ask yourself this, right? Because this is about external things, right? This is more outside of things that you have a little less control over, right? When it comes to, I didn't say that right. This is more external. These are more internal, right? Who drained you, right? Who sharpened you, right? Who kept you small and who challenged your thinking? These are all questions that you need to ask about the people around you because this is more self-sufficient, right? This is more self, and this is what you can control outside of you, right? Who drained you, right? You know what I'm saying? Auntie tripping. She said that you ain't show up for Thanksgiving, and you usually bring the peach cobbler, the fire peach cobbler, but Granny's tripping. Auntie's tripping with you. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Who sharpened you? My guy right here. We sharpen each other every day. Every Wednesday we get better at being on the camera, right? Or me specifically.
Yeah, not both of us.
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And who kept you small? Who told you that you wasn't gonna be shit? You know what I'm saying? Who told you that you wasn't good at this? Who told you that that's weak? You could do better. You know what I'm saying? Who challenged your thinking as well? Who put you in a position to say, hey, I like the way that you did this, bro. I really do, right? What is another way that you can provide better insight on said subject? What is another way that you can revamp this and make this fire, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who made you think differently outside of your box? Because, like I said, if your environment is not right, then you would have nobody to challenge your thinking. If your environment is not right, you won't know who drains you, and you will just be drained. You won't know where this dread is coming from, right? If your environment is not right, then you don't know where your money has gone, right? And so this all comes full circle. This is the most full circle right here because your environment says everything about you. If you go around people if you come around us, right, and you see that we're high class individuals and we care about our lives to the T, right? And we come around you, or you come around us and you see that, you know, we pop our collars a certain way. You're trying to get your collar right. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know how to correspond with us because your mental and your environment is terrible. You wouldn't know how to manage and be around these like-minded individuals because your environment ain't right, man. Get that head space right. Get your desk space right. Get your, you know what I'm saying, everything around you. Make sure that you do everything systematically. You know what I'm saying? One more thing that I want to say. everything that you do personally, right, affects how you do to others as well as like the things that you're interested in, right? So if I wasn't a good friend and I wasn't trustworthy, then my supervisor couldn't trust me to show up on time. And it's as simple as that. If I wasn't on time ever, then my son couldn't expect me to be at his basketball game, at his football game on time. It started at 8 o'clock. I'm there at 10. You know what I'm saying? The game damn near over. You know what I'm saying? So everything that you do internally, mentally, plays physically in the real world, because this is who you carry yourself. So you are your environment as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah. I'll even use the job as an example. For the people still out there working the job, working the 9 to 5. You want to get out of that cycle, right? But the best way to train yourself to get out of that cycle is to still work that job with that CEO mindset, right? Work that job the same way you would work on your business, right? And be on time to that job the same way you would be on time to a business meeting. You know what I'm saying? Just how you do everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Kind of along the lines of what Flash just said, man. And while you're at that job, even though you're in that environment that you're not gonna be in forever, right? The environment, the biggest environment is your mind, right? So while I'm at that job and while I'm working, I'm not sitting there talking about, naturally we're human, it happens, right? But when it comes and I get that thought process of, damn, I gotta be here for this many hours, I could be at doing this, I could be at doing this. Oh, I just came from recording Wealth Wednesdays, I gotta go to the job tomorrow. Like, all these things, I always gotta tap into my brain and say, man, just do this the way you would do the same thing, the way you would work on your business. Do this that same way, because this is your ticket, man. This is your ticket. This you're in the training grounds right now. So develop yourself in that job, right? Because what I have learned is being an entrepreneur ain't just about being an entrepreneur when you have all the time throughout your day, right? It's not about just being it's not about the title and just saying, I don't work a job, It's about being an entrepreneur while you still work a job, right? It's about, a lot of us are saying we want to get to a certain point. How am I trying to put this? We want to get to a certain point after we leave that job, right? We want to get to that point where we working. If I didn't have this job, I'd be working on my business like crazy. If I'd be posting my content like crazy, I'd be posting every day. I'd be doing all these things. Just do that while you're at the job, right? Utilize the time that you have. Do what you can, because by the time you leave, that's what's really going to earn you your ticket out, right? If I was just waiting for the time that we had after I left the job to actually double down on full circle wealth, that wouldn't work, right? But now I'm doubling down while I'm there, and I'm using the job to fuel full circle wealth. So by the time I'm earning my right to go,
right,
I'm already walking into it, because when I leave and I got to leave and then now I got 12 hours to myself, I'm not lollygagging. The business is already flourishing. I've already been working on this. This is already my life. So I had to really learn that at the beginning of this year too, because I used to have the problem of being like, man, I'm about to be at this. I'm at work. I'm at work today. I guess I can't really tap into being the content creator that I need to be. I guess I'm not gonna post today because I'm tired at work. You know what I'm saying? So letting that get to me. Don't let that get to you, man. Don't let the job make you forget about who you're becoming.
Right, and I want to touch on that too, because we all get, let's say, about good 7 to 8 hours of sleep, right? So that leaves 16 hours in the day, right? You got a job for 8 hours, right? Come on, now you got 8 hours to yourself, but that's 16 hours compared to 8 hours is gonna compound triple time, literally double, but you know what I'm saying? It's gonna compound over time, because you only use 8 hours of the day when you have 16. You know what I'm saying? Use your time, use all of your time wisely, not just the time where you feel like it, right? Because just like you said, being an entrepreneur is more than about not having a job. It's about being able to manage yourself and still strive. You got all of this that you're pulling, right? And you're still walking. You know what I'm saying? You're still moving them yards and pushing the needle. So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This, yes.
Yeah, because those habits become your identity, even when we're at the job, man, listening to a podcast, still posting content, on the Instagram and the Discord, even Flask over here, he gets on, he's at the job and he has the opportunity to get on the computer and we can still lock in for a couple hours and do what we need to do. So I'm saying that to say, man, if it's your identity, the environment is not going to change, because the biggest environment you have in your mind, man. You're a
Inside.
CEO everywhere you go, man. So yeah, man. That's the last one we
the
got.
last one,
That's
yes.
the last one we got, man.
This is what you need, man. This is the last thing I'm gonna say before we get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, you need a notebook and a fire pen, and you need a book that's gonna tell you everything that you're looking for. That you're looking for within the book, right? This book is The Millionaire Next Door, and this shows you how to be frugal with your money and not. You could be the millionaire next door, but your neighbor doesn't have to know that, right? You're being flashy, right? This is not who you have to be. You could be the millionaire next door. You need a book and you need a notebook that's going to tell you exactly who you are, and this is what's going to revamp you, right? I got a degree, and this is my favorite color. I also have a multicolored pen, right? You guys can see that. Multicolored pen. I got blue, green, red, and black. You know, if you know, blue's a living color when you write it down. So when I'm gonna give you a gem. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a gem real quick. When you're writing your goals, make sure that you have it in blue because it's living, right? When you know on your social security number, it's blue. Come on, man. Make sure you get it.
Well, he should have told me that when before I bought that 3-pack of pens I just bought, and they all black.
Come on.
My pens is dead.
Yes.
But I'm saying this to say, man, some books, right? You need some books, man.
Here, let me hold something for you so we can see.
Curate your environment, man. And this ain't about reading all these books, because I promise you, I've read. I haven't finished all these books. This one I ain't even opened yet, for real. I am not gonna lie to you. I had to finish this one before I even got to this one, and then I have bought a lot. And then you have As a Man Thinketh, The Tipping Point, which is about marketing that I haven't finished as well. Propaganda, Reminiscences of a Stock Creator. Shout out to my girl, she bought me this, Stock Operator. So I'm saying this to say, look at what you already got in the house. I know I got some stuff in the house already that I probably need to reopen or open in general that I haven't opened yet. So instead of going to, this might have to be a book for us this year, because I had seen somebody review it and I never actually opened it up yet. But it's about, here, break it down.
So look, first time seeing it, right? Extreme ownership. This is exactly what we do. Let me see what we can see. This is exactly what we do right here. And it doesn't matter who's giving us this information. U.S. Navy SEALs, those are the SEAL Team 6 leaders. You know what I'm saying?
Real leaders. Get your mind real right. You know what I'm saying? Don't let us read this. We'll be gonna be killing the game.
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying? Niche based. This is what we do, right? This is exactly the type of things that we have and utilize, because it is about being a leader, and we're both leaders. And mass facilitators, man. This is what we do, and we want to inspire you to feel like it's all right to walk around with a book, bro. It's cool to be corny. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
This is it.
This
right
is
here.
Thumbnail, boy. Get you 3 books.
Yeah, come on.
And put this up to the ear.
To the ear, yeah. Real,
all right, this is thumbnail.
Real. You feel me?
Real thumbnail. We always want to put the stack to the ear. We could put the stack of books to the ear. It's all right. Man. It's all right,
and
man.
Then what's even crazier is the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yeah,
we got 7 things for you.
Oh
to really,
yeah,
come on,
we had the 7.
Come on,
we had
bro.
the 7. Yep,
Everything we do.
this aligns. I read the 7 habits of highly effective people, man. This aligns exactly with the 7 habits of highly effective people. This
Full circle wealth.
This is a great book as well. One of the first books I ever read that my dad suggested, man. Great book. I need to read it again, actually. This one gem from this book, I'll just give it to you guys, that stuck with me for the rest of my life. Saying that to say, because when you read one book, you may not remember everything, but you remember that one that's going to stick with you, whatever stuck with you.
Exactly.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Yes.
Being reactive is just receiving a situation and then just reacting with your emotions.
Say that one more time. Say it for the people in the back, bro.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Come on.
Right? Reactive is when you just receive a situation or get into a situation and you instantly think with your emotions, right? But being proactive is when you hit a situation and you say, how can I solve this? Yes. How can I create some type of solution? Where can we just get to a solution, man? So yeah, Full Circle Wealth, man. Get you a book, read you a book, join our community, because we gonna be picking a book to read with you guys this year for free, right? And get into the stocks, get into the crypto, get into the assets. 2026 is gonna be a great year for all of us, right? 2025, I saw Charlemagne, the video when he was talking about 2025, the year of the snake. We talked about this, the year of shedding, right? The year of letting go of old things. 2026, we got that horse coming up. You know, we don't put all the emphasis on horoscopes, but all we doing is saying we shed 2025. I know I shed some stuff. That's what it felt like. I felt like I had to hit a whole new skin.
What?
Right?
This is
now,
fresh.
2026, we're gonna be we what they say about going into the sun with the horse. What's the saying? Riding into the sun.
Right.
It's riding into the sunset.
Come on.
Riding into the sunset with the horse, man. You know, and momentum. So 2026 is the year of momentum, right? Build that momentum. If you already got it built, I don't know if you're gonna see people in 2027 if you already got the momentum built. We might be around in 2027. You know what I'm saying? We just know the momentum gonna be built so much. We might be in a bunker somewhere in Southeast Asia, and I'm saying that to say you guys ain't gonna know where we at.
Exactly, because hustlers don't stop; they keep going. You know what I'm saying? And then hustlers don't stop; they keep going. You know what I'm saying? And then hustlers don't stop; they keep going, man.
Somebody come get this guy.
What's Wednesdays, man? Shout out to everybody who's in the Twitch, man. I appreciate everybody showing. This is the last live of 2025, man, and I appreciate how far we've come and how long we've been doing this, man. I'm so excited for the journey, and there ain't nothing in the way that's stopping us from prospering, man. You see, we got the Discord. What would you finna do about it?
Yeah, man, right here in the Discord, man. Go check us out and get yourself right. We got the Stocks 101, so you can get the mindset around for the stocks. We got the Crypto 101, so you can get the mindset around for the crypto. We got the Trading Basics, so you can know how to trade and really build your, just know the basics of trading. We got stocks analysis. We got technical analysis. We got the mindset. We got books in here that we've read. We got videos in here that we've put up in here, videos that we've watched, right? We've got Web3 up in here. We got tools, glossary. We got it all up in here for you, man. So come in here and get right. Crypto news, stock market news. Go up in here and look at the free stuff that we've already incorporated for you guys, because 2026, we're going to be putting more content up in there. And then it's going to be paid version. So you're going to have to only utilize what you get on the free stuff, because we're coming with the sauce for you guys, man. We've been doing this. We're going to be continuing to do this. So yeah, man.
It's a good year, man. 2025, we're going to go live probably on the Full Circle Wealth a little bit later and show the beginning of the year, man. Shout out Official Go-Getter, man. Shout out Flash.
Shout out.
Let's do it, man. Full Circle out, man.
Full Circle out, man.
2025 over, man.
Over, man. Check us. Oh, never mind. All right, I'm out of here.